let's continue with perimeter of a rectangle using word problems. The last few problems we did were so very straightforward, and we talked about converting those unit lengths and things like that. But we're going to follow our same procedure that we introduced in the first of these of this video series. Draw and label, write your formula, substitute, use algebra if you have to, and write your answer with units. Okay, now we're just going to try to work several problems together. It says how many feet of fencing. Okay, now that's a key word for perimeter, and I talked about that in an earlier video. How many feet of fencing material will Louisa need to surround her garden that measures 15 feet 8 inches on two sides and 19 feet 10 inches on the other two sides? So notice they don't tell you the name of the shape. You're supposed to recognize that that is a rectangle by the way they described it. And it says that it's 15 feet 8 inches on two sides and 19 feet 10 inches on the other two sides. So the 19 feet 10 inches goes on the long side because it's the length, and the 15 feet 8 inches goes on the other side, which is the width. Don't worry about what your figure looks like. You're only doing this for a visual representation for yourself. Now, it's asking for fencing. This is just such a common word problem when they want perimeter. So you're supposed to know you're looking for perimeter. Notice they don't ever say the word. And that's something that can throw you off if you're not expecting it. But if you're expecting it, it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. Okay? So then we want to draw and label. We want to write our formula. So our formula is P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. You can look that up on your formula sheet. Hopefully you kind of learn it by now. I've written it so many times. Do you have a number for P? No, it stays in. Do you have a number for L? Yes. And you're going to have to write all of that in there right neatly so you can read your own writing. Keep your plus sign. Keep your 2. Do you have a number for W? Yes. 15 feet, 8 inches. Now remember, you are having to distribute. Remember that word, distribute. So you just do your math on your calculator. So 2 times 19 is 38. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 15, 2 times 8. So you have 30 feet and 16 inches. Now you have to combine like terms. Okay? So you got 38 feet and you have 30 feet. So when you add those together, you get 68 feet. Then you have inches, and they're both positive, so you add those together, and you get 36 inches. And it's like, whew, long problem. Okay, but are you done? No, you're not done, because look at inches. Get your formula sheet out. Look at your limit for inches. You're over it. So come off to the side. 36 inches over the 12 inches over the limit. Do the math, which you'll see goes into that perfectly. So that's going to go up to 3 feet. And you add that together, so perimeter is 71 feet. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Another word problem. Okay. After adding 4 extra inches for each corner, how much molding will Jim need to enclose a window that measures 36 inches by 40 inches? Okay, so this is a multi-step perimeter problem because it says after adding 4 extra inches for each corner. So for each corner, they're putting 4 more inches in. So you can do it 2 different ways, okay? You can add the 4 inches in the front end, or you can add the 4 inches for each corner on the back end. So we have a window, and we have 40 inches, and we have 36 inches. They gave us this picture. And they want to know how much molding, another dead giveaway for a clue word. Molding is perimeter. Now, if you want to add it to the front end, you would add your 4 inches and your 4 inches. So that's really 44 inches for the length and 40 inches for the width. Hopefully you follow my reasoning there. And then we're looking for perimeter. So P equals question mark. And yes, you need to label it. And yes, you need to draw it. Now, our steps tell us to draw and label. Then they tell us to write the formula. Copy it right off your sheet. And now it's time to plug and chug. Do you have a number for P? Nope, so the letter stays in. Keep the 2. Do you have a number for L? Yes, 44. Thank goodness we don't have those mixed units again. I'm not even going to write the inches in right here because everything's in inches, so it's good. So 2 times W, which was 40. And then we just can do that straight on the calculator. Or if you want to do it by hand, you'd get 88. It's 80. And then you would add that and you'd get 168 inches. Okay? Now, if you didn't want to add the 4 inches on the front end, you would do the problem with 36 and 40 here, get your answer, and then you would say, well, 4 inches for each window, so 4 times 4 is 16. And you would add that 16 to your answer if you had just worked it with your 40. So it would look like 2 times 40 plus 2 times 36. So you would get that answer. So you get 80 plus, what would that be, 72. And then you'd add those and add your 16 in there. And let's see if that gives us our same answer. 80 plus 72 plus 16. And we get 168. Because I had to add that 16 for the 4 extra windows. Okay. All right, let's try to do one more here quickly. And it's a little bit more... it's less straightforward, I guess. And that's this one, number 10. It says a rectangular field measures 100 yards by 76 yards. So they told you the shape, it was a rectangle. So if it were me on my test, I would be already drawing that rectangular field. And it measures 100 by 76. How many laps around the field does Lynn have to run in order to run 1 mile? So they didn't ask you for the distance around the field one time. But what you have to know for this is you still are going to need to go find the perimeter of 1 lap. Okay? So we know that this is the length and this is the width. Hopefully you've already got yours labeled. We're going to write our formula, and I'm going to work this pretty quickly so that we don't run out of time here. Keep your P, put your numbers in, plug and chug, do your math. I'm just going to do it all in the calculator. 2 parentheses 100 plus 2 parentheses 76. You're timed on your test anyway, 352. Now that's the distance for 1 lap. Are you following that reasoning? To go around that rectangular field. It says, how many laps around the field does this person have to run in order to run a mile? And a mile is 1,760 yards. So this was 352 yards for 1 lap. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to take our 1,760 yards and divide it by our 352 to see how many laps that'll take. So 1,760 divided by 352, and you have to run 5 laps to make 1 mile.